Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about quality of life changes that need to happen. Players are getting frustrated with how many things just don't have basic features like search bars in them. Also, we got confirmation from the devs about XP buffs for Nightmare Dungeons and why it's taking so long. We also have some interesting data about some of the rarest items in the game. And finally, if you were playing Saturday, there was a massive DDoS attack we're going to be talking about here today. Oh, and by the way, if you do enjoy any of the content on the channel, do leave a like, and more importantly, if you'd like to see more content like this, a subscribe will go a long way. Now, if you were playing on Saturday, you will notice that you weren't able to log into the game, so check this out. Basically, it says we are currently experiencing a DDoS attack, which may result in high latency and disconnection for some players. We're actively working to mitigate this issue. But yeah, it looks like there was just some type of DDoS attack that just basically stopped players from being able to log in, which was down for, I believe, about 4 hours. I think I was editing a video at the time, so I didn't even notice it, to be honest. But yeah, I think a lot of players have been talking about the whole online to offline situation, where a lot of cases they're playing solo offline and there's really no reason for them to log in, and this would like help avoid that. I know Last Epoch has this where you can play purely online and offline, so I don't know, maybe this could be something that Blizzard can look forward to. The only problem with the offline thing is players just tends to cheat and they won't be detected, to my understanding, so that's maybe the massive negative. But it does look like, as of obviously making this video, that it's up and running, of course. But yeah, it looks like the DDoS attack is happening. I remember there was one not long ago before the launch of Diablo 4. Looks like this is a very common reoccurring thing, but hopefully they can get this together. Alright, shifting gears here, check out this post by Corey. And he posts on Twitter, "Bro, seriously, y'all can nerf but not fix the XP crap in Nightmare Dungeons. This was in response to the Hoda bug where you were losing a lot of damage to Hammer of the Ancients. It actually wasn't a nerf, it was just some things messing up." But Adam responded with saying, "We mentioned in the stream last week that Nightmare Dungeons is beyond just XP, as we also are incorporating things like teleporting from dungeons to dungeons via sigils. This isn't a thing you can do in a hotfix. That one requires a client patch for PC and first parties." Now, Joe did respond by saying also additional loot, if I remember correctly, but like you said, one of those things is probably just an adjusting a number versus actually creating something to work with existing infrastructure. And Matt Boyer responded by saying, "I appreciate this reply, but where is the damage control? 80 plus is a absolute slog. Packaging up multiple things simply to deliver bigger patches is pointless when more serious community is suffering, and the casuals will hit it soon enough." Now, I actually agree with a lot of this. I mean, I get where Adam's coming from and stuff, but I do agree possibly there is a way where you can just adjust the numbers of the experience. And so I get that a lot of the reason why Nightmare Dungeons are bad is not purely just because of the raw flat numbers. It is the fact that you have to walk from wherever you're at to the place that you have to go, and the teleporter will absolutely fix the efficiency of that. But to some extent, I do agree with a lot of what the other players are saying, where, hey, let's adjust the numbers and make them better so that we get more experience. Now, where I stand personally, I just don't understand why we're even here having this conversation. For me, the biggest thing that I'm disliking about Diablo is not the fact that there's only 1 or 2 builds for each class. It's not the fact that things are being broken or there's a battle pass or anything like that. It's these core fundamental game design choices that kind of gets me. Like, I don't feel like as how much experience a lot of these guys have, this as not only as individual creators of games, but a studio, that we should be in a point where we're talking about the absolute pinnacle in game, like our main in game having more XP than normal dungeons. Like, this should have been implemented in the game as soon as the game came out. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like this should have been the way it started with, and we shouldn't even be having this conversation about giving more XP to the actual in-game content. Let me know what you guys think down below, but yeah, this is a big negative, at least for me, for Diablo overall. I can deal with the rest. Balance patches happen, adjustments happen, bugs happens, whatever, but for things like this, it's just like really weird to me. While we're on the subject of basic features in the game, check out this post. This one reads, "Quality of life features needed, glyph levels and names." And as you can see, this pretty much has just all the glyphs having the basic number as well as the name of the glyphs. I actually made a video yesterday where I was talking about the Necromancer board, and it just didn't have a name of the board while I was looking at it on the board. And it's just like there's so many quality of life features in the game that is completely gone. And we're gonna read a comment real quick. And this comment says, the amount of lazy or careless unlabeled stuff in the game is ridiculous. Want to find a sigil? Mouse over 20 keys every time. Glyphs? Mouse over 20 glyphs every time. Want to find an aspect? Mouse over 30 aspects every time. Want to find an aspect on your legendaries in your stash? Good luck. And yeah, this is another problem in the game. Like, I don't again, I think they did really well with the base core design of like playing the game, but like these quality of life features feel like you should know how this should be in the game. Like, did no one playtest the inventory? And I don't want to start putting on my what's it called, aluminum hat or whatever they call it, but like at some point with the amount of quality of life things that's completely missing in the game, I get the feeling sometimes that Blizzard is doing it for like points with the community, if that makes sense. Like, oh hey, look guys, we you know that annoying thing, that very basic normal thing that every single game, even indie games have, you know, like a search bar or basic labeling of things in the game, we fixed it, praise us. Maybe I'm going a little over the top and that's not the reason, or maybe they just didn't have time, or they were just being very lazy, or whatever the case is, or they maybe just prioritize other things over the basic things. I feel like one guy probably could have done this. I could be completely wrong because I don't know how development work, but the amount of things that are just so lazily designed in the game is just like, it feels very amateurish. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the quality of life in this game. Do you think it needs some improvement? I can't imagine someone saying it's fine. So you guys know how everyone and their mother wants the Harley Quinn mask or the grandfather or some of these really amazing items in the game. Check this post out by Adam Jackson. Hello, I want to clear up some details on the rare uniques in Diablo 4. 1, they can drop from level 85 plus enemies. 2, you get them anywhere you can get a regular unique, and they always drop at 820 item power. 3, we currently have 6 of them in the game, and 4, they are rarely rare. The most interesting thing about this post is the fact that there are only 6 items in the entire game of these items, which is pretty insane considering that I'm pretty sure Diablo has a much more active player base than a lot of other ARPGs, and there's only 6 of them, and players have been putting in tons of hours. I'm not sure if this is healthy for the game. I guess they really want it to be a chase item, but with the way that the game flows, like we're about to actually go into season 1 very soon, and like not having this is going to be kind of annoying. I would have loved to see some of these items and see how they play and feel, but at the moment their rarity is really low. With that said, I haven't really been pushing 85s that much, like 85 plus, so maybe that's why I haven't seen it. But again, let me know what you guys think. Do you think these things are too rare? I know in Path of Exile there's things like, what, Mirror of Calandra? But even then, the Mirror of Calandra isn't that rare, but I guess the player base is more knowledgeable of the game than the player base in Diablo 4, so I guess that could be the reason. But still, pretty insane drops. Only 6 as of now, and players are putting in millions of hours in the game, so very interesting. Alright, on to the final post of the day, and this is a Nightmare Dungeon tier list for XP farming. I know I did one of these recently, but I did want to give another update as things are obviously changing. Diablo 4 Nightmare Dungeon tier list. Nightmare Dungeons are rated based on the time it takes to clear them and the enemy's density to optimize XP. You want to aim for the S tier dungeons and avoid the F tiers. Updated as new dungeons appear. So yeah, it looks like these guys did optimize once again another Nightmare Dungeon tier list. This is actually a little bit different from the previous guides. This is another tier list. So obviously Blind Barrows, Alderwood, Champion's Demise, Earthen Wound, Onyx Hold, a lot of really good ones. A lot of these I actually use a lot of. So if you do have a Nightmare Sigil for these, feel free to go ahead and hit those, or those are the best. And when it comes to avoiding it, Dark Ravine, Prison of Caladum, and Black Asylum, these are the ones to avoid. And so looks like we have a new updated tier list. Down in the comments I will have this for you guys, as well as in the description for you to follow if you want to have this, you know, to have a reference. For me personally, I don't particularly care until they actually add more XP for these dungeons, because right now it's still slow to me and the Nightmare Dungeons just suck. I'd rather just go do what's it called, Boulder's Caverns or something, and just get XP that way. But this could be really useful, so we'll see. Alright, on to arguably my favorite part of the entire video, you guys' comments. Just remember, if you do have any comments that you maybe want to hear read or anything interesting to say, leave them down below and they may be picked out. And we're going to start this one off with Batmon26. Let's be for real, the dudes who have multiple hundreds right now have used some type of exploit. The grind from 80 to 100, the legit way, is a little ridiculous. Can't wait for season 1 to see how different that grind is, and if so many content creators actually get there quickly. Now, when it comes to this comment, I agree. The 80 to 100 is ridiculous. I'm actually about to hit 80 on my second character, and man, it is grueling. I think the biggest problem with the 80 to 100 is it's just so slow getting to the nightmare dungeons and doing the in-game content. Basically right now you're just forced to do regular dungeons, and that's kind of repetitive, and the reset is really bad, and the most efficient way to actually get your levels is doing dungeons. It's tedious, it doesn't work well, and it's just not designed for it. And the design, it's supposed to be nightmare dungeons, and it's just terrible XP. So yeah, right now it's absolutely terrible because of the way it's poorly designed. I can say they really need to get it done and get it figured out. I'm sure they know what they need to do, but yeah, I think this is probably one of the worst launches when it comes to the end game that I've experienced. I just have absolutely no desire to grind right now until season 1, and I'm only making builds right now. So yeah, absolutely agree. But I will say a lot of the content creators will get there fairly quickly. A lot of them are they have friends that can play with them all day long, and then they can use the efficiencies of like party stuff, XP stuff, hitting the meta stuff. So a lot of them will be able to still get there in my opinion, but comparatively to the actual launch, of course not, because they nerfed so many things. So we'll have to see, but I expect a good portion of them will get there, but most of them probably will burn out too. Alright, on to the next comment. This one is from Brentley Turner, and it reads, "Yo man, I ain't even noticed I wasn't subbed. I never get a chance to sit down because I work 7 days a week, and did work 7 this week for 52 hours with 14 hours driving for 76 hours away from home." Sounds like you're a truck driver. My dad used to actually be a truck driver, so I remember the times away he was, so that's what it sounds like you do. Anyway, I watch you but forget to sub, I guess. My bad, man. You deserve better. You put out genuine content and put your opinions of view without crapping on other views. First off, Brentley, I really appreciate the kind words and the subscription. You guys have no clue how much subscribing actually helps my channel. Believe it or not, I actually get views comparable to people who have like thousands of subscribers in a lot of cases. And I still don't have the same subscriber count, which actually kind of hurts me more than anything. From a creator perspective, I'm not trying to give you guys a pep talk about how YouTube works, but whenever you have a lot of people who can actually see your posts, you're more likely to get views for it. And so with only 2,500 where I'm at now, there's only a guarantee that I can only ever have 2,500 people see, which I'm very appreciative of. I really appreciate you guys watching it. But I really want to do great things on YouTube. I don't want to be one of those creators who have millions of subscribers and do a giveaway of Elden Ring or whatever, or Diablo 1 copy, and move on and then pocket tens of thousands of dollars and pretend like I'm not getting a massive benefit from you guys watching. I'm not trying to be that creator. I want to be the creator who actually gives away a lot of stuff. I would ideally, once I get to a point where a lot of the creators are, I want to give away like entire PCs and games. I know some of you are less fortunate, some of you don't have time to play, some of you have builds and kids and things to do, especially when it comes to Diablo community. I know a lot of you really work a lot, just like Brentley here, and I would like to be able to help with that, you know, and that'd be really cool. Ultimately, we're going to continue to grow. I'm going to be doing great things. We've already given away, 6 copies of Diablo since the launch of the game. Obviously, I don't make a lot of money off of YouTube. I make probably, I don't know, $300 a month right now on a good month. So obviously it's not the greatest amount of income, but as we grow, we're going to see a lot of great things coming from the channel. So hopefully you guys stick with me. But Brentley, I really appreciate the kind words and the sub, and I hope to see you around more. Alright, that's pretty much it for all the comments this week. There wasn't actually that many, so if you guys do have anything you'd like to say in this video, feel free to leave it down below. I'll probably read it in the next video. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Later.